Good afternoon. This is our journey to independent life. I am going to start planting seeds here. We're a little bit late getting our seeds started. Everything's been really quite cold. We're getting a nice spring rain. Today is the 23rd of May. And so we're going to get things started in the house. Hopefully we can transplant them into the gardens as soon as the beds are made. So this is what we're going to do. So we've got something a little different. Spinach strawberry, where it's edible, both the leaf and the fruit that comes out of it. Lettuce. We're not doing too many, but kale. Kale is going to be quite proliferant, so 4 of those plants will be more than ample. Lettuce will start a few more in a couple of days. Cherry tomatoes, so Aunt Molly's cherry tomatoes, which are a little yellow tomato, should be really yummy. Spinach, again spinach, we'll sow a bunch outside, but get our basics started. And then we've got spaghetti squash. Now I won't be using the seeds from the package, but I will be using the seeds that I harvested out of the spaghetti squash that we purchased. And then we have peppers, which obviously have to go into a greenhouse, otherwise they will not be successful here. And acorn squash, or sorry, not acorn, butternut squash. Again, these are seeds that I've harvested and dried. And then sunflowers. Gotta have some sunflowers. They're really good, and they make a good food for the birds as well.
So what are you going to do about pickles, cucumbers?
Those I'll start in a couple of days as well. I'll start some cucumbers.
Swiss chard?
Swiss chard I can sow directly into the garden. Beets, carrots, I can sow them all directly into the garden. It's not always a good idea to start them as presets because, well, they don't transplant well. And they're a taproot vegetable. Turnips again, but beets, turnips are good hardy, and radishes, they're good hardy vegetables, but they will also take a couple of frosts without being too hard on them.
We haven't planted because the frost has been at times.
We haven't done a lot of planting. We've planted some peas, and I only planted those sparingly because we weren't too sure what we were going to have frost-wise, because I planted them before the long weekend, which is supposed to be the time when everybody puts gardens in, but this winter, or this year, everything's been cold, so we're about 3 weeks behind growing season, which is why I can safely do my starts now.
So people are going to wonder why you're wearing this shirt. Can you explain why you're wearing the shirt is it because it's not because of the Chris Sky thing, even though it is his emblem. But it's to say no to, we want independence. We don't want to be part of a society that we're dependent upon.
We don't want to be dependent upon society's umbilical cord. We don't want to have to keep going to the grocery store. We want to be able to supply our own food, because having our own supply is freedom.
Right.
It's true freedom, because this is a full-time job in itself. Starting a garden, maintaining a homestead, putting in your fences to contain your chickens, collect your eggs, put in your ducks, maintain the pond for the ducks so they're always in clean water. This is your own sustenance. And these are the things that will give you true freedom. True opportunity for choice.
So we're just saying no to the umbilical cord of society?
Yes.
And we're saying yes to independent living?
Yes.
And you didn't say it right in the beginning, but it's our journey to independent living.
Yes,
That's our channel. If you like this channel, subscribe and
hit the bell.
Hit the bell and post a comment.
And don't forget to like us.
Okay, so now you have all these seeds here.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these seeds are going to be going outside. Some of this stuff, like in this container, chives and onions, and maybe, and I don't know, what is that other one?
Parsley.
Parsley. We're going to plant in here, but we're going to start our mounds, and you're going to start seeing those things, right? In the next couple of days. But because we had 2 days of good weather, we opted not to mound up our dirt. We're going to do what Gridless does. We're going to put some straw down and let it break down, right? Back to Eden.
He uses a lot of chips.
He uses a lot of chips. We're at 3,600
100
feet. Our frost level goes from
We
the
can
end
get
of May.
frost every month of the year.
So we're out of the frost area, I think, now.
We can still get frost.
Because now we're having rain where we have been having snow and sleet and -4 to 5 and sometimes down to 10. Now it looks like we're staying in the pluses.
Mm-hmm.
But our frost starts back in the middle of September.
Easily.
So hopefully the squash has enough time to grow. So we have June, July, August. That's 3 months. That's 90 days.
And
And
squash can take
hopefully
up
we
to
get an
100
Indian
days.
summer that we can harvest our squash. We need to build a greenhouse, but we want to build a proper one. We kind of want to do the same one that what's his name in Ontario?
Self-reliance?
Self-Reliance. Yes, he's got a great greenhouse that he
It's
built.
a beautiful round greenhouse, and it's
Yes.
a very high dome where he's actually able to put fruit trees inside the dome.
So our what we want to accomplish is we want to accomplish building these things without a greater cost,
Yes.
visiting the share sheds, visiting the dumps for wood,
Recycling the
recycling
products.
and products, and being able to accomplish those things, right? I got a crackle in the background. Accomplishing those things without a greater cost. We eventually want to get a sawmill. So we're in the beginning states of everything. We're in the beginning states of our van life
We
adventure.
do have an Alaskan sawmill if we want to utilize that, but it would be nice to upgrade to something similar to a wood miser or along those lines, just for the accuracy of being able to cut
Right.
the board feet. So if you wanted to construct anything at a future date, you can do it in true dimensional lumber sizes.
It's like right now, outside it's pouring down rain. We have some steel roofs that we should be harvesting water from. We have a good well, but we should be harvesting the rainwater like Redless does. These things were all brand new, and even though we've been here a couple years,
The one thing that we do have an issue with if we do harvest the rainwater is we have to make sure we drain it before winter.
and,
Otherwise our
and Sandra and Doug and Sandy have made a good point.
Stacy.
Stacy.
Yes.
They made a good point. The chemicals in the air from the chemtrails have poisoned our rainwater. Now, we up here don't get much of that.
Yet.
We've had it,
Yes.
but it's not as bad as it is in Vancouver or down in the United States and down in Los Angeles. And I guess Sandy or Doug and Stacy have some issues with that, but they filter their water. We don't want to filter our water. Our groundwater is pure, clean, and it's sweet tasting. It's really good.
Yes. And
But-
it has a lot of minerals in it.
Yes. So to get back to the cups that we're using, these cups dated May 23rd. We've got some topsoil that we picked up in the bag just to get things started. Because again, remember our topsoil isn't that great, right?
No.
And we're going to plant these seeds, and we're going to germinate them and transplant them into our mounds. That dirt you've seen, that when Deb made her bed, her raised garden bed to put the peas in, we're going to do. I really liked watching what Gridless did. Jeff and his wife Rose and his children really made a good point about breaking down and planting on top of the same kind of soil that we have, and having their pigs break it up. We have a pen that we had pigs last year in. We're going to get 2 this year. We're not sure exactly. We may get some sheep. Just what we like to do is we don't like to winter them. We like to have them for a period of time and then butcher, and then freeze them, smoke them. Like tonight, we're going to have some smoked ham that was just done, So the importance is that we have stuff like this too that we gather together, and that is wheat, hardened spring. What is it called?
Hard red spring wheat.
Yeah. So that was donated to the local church. They gave it out.
It was donated in 50-pound sacks.
So the other thing too is we've kept and we've got donated to us is organic
Cranberry beans. So they're not going to be a bush bean, they're going to be like a runner bean. And hopefully we will have enough time for them to grow and mature.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that we may have a problem with here is beans don't necessarily grow very well here because we do not have a long enough growing season. So that's where we need like a cold frame that's going to be super tall, like 7 to 8 feet tall, in order for these to grow.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
that's what they need. And then we're going to try chickpeas. We're also going to try, these were organic. I took them out of the packaging. They're called beluga lentils. They're little black seeds. I'm going to try some green lentils because the green lentils don't split like the orange lentils, so they should be able to, they should be a viable seed anyway. And I'm going to try chickpeas. They're also a good source of protein, and hopefully we have enough growing time to grow them.
And the Mackenzie seed that we're using right now is because we did a house clean on our son's place, and he had all this seed right now. So we're going to use it. He wasn't going to use it, so we're going to use it. But here's what's important. We have